Hey there, happy Tuesday. I am going to do a lunchtime live to talk about um, who I am and what I do as a sex coach. So go ahead and um, let me know that you're here by saying, hey, happy Tuesday. And if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I'm going to go live on Facebook or Instagram. So just a second. Okay, so hey, Instagram. I am doing a lunchtime chat and we're going to talk about um, sexuality coaching and what it is and why you might need the services of a sexuality coach. So I have some notes, so don't mind if I'm looking down. But please feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know that you're here. Say hey. What are you having for lunch? It's lunchtime where I am on the East Coast. So, hey, y'all. Hey, my name is Coach Jacquie. I am a sexuality and lifestyle coach. And I am the owner and founder of Mirrored Vision Coaching. And I have been trained and certified for a little over a year now, but getting to this point in my life is not new. To tell you a little bit about me, I knew that this was what I wanted to do when I was a young girl. I was the kid in the library who was looking up um, anatomy books and wondering and curious about how our bodies were made and how our bodies worked, and not really sure what pleasure was, but just interested about why our bodies respond the way that they do. And we feel the way that we feel about certain things and people. Um, my grandmother was an avid reader of romance novels, so I had this early imagery about romance and love and passion. Again, not really understanding what that meant, but I it was a part of me. So my interest in being a sexologist started at an early age. And so um, I'm also a healer. That's my spiritual gift. And so it's really quite interesting that um, being a sexuality coach chose me to go in alignment with my gift as a healer, because this is a very sensitive subject and topic, and a lot of people feel uncomfortable when they talk about their bodies and sexuality and what we were taught to believe about sexuality and what coming from religious backgrounds or not feeling comfortable about um, roles and identity in bodies, right? So people tend to talk about everything else, but when you say anything related to sexuality, people's ears perk up. And that's the part that I like, because it allows people to be honest and open when they feel like they can do that with someone who is listening to them and hearing them and understanding them. And um, that's my strong point. So, what exactly is a sexuality coach? So, the definition is a trained professional who helps with sexual, intimacy, and relationship challenges. So, a sexuality coach is a trained professional. They've gone through a series of learning, and you can be accredited. Some are not, but the program that I went through was accredited. Um, and it was over 12 months, and it was intensive, very intensive. Not just the information, but just life and processing the information and how you see it in everyday life and then applying it to your everyday life. So a sexuality coach is a person who is a trained professional who helps with sexual intimacy and relationship challenges. How many of us have that? So that means you may be someone who could benefit from having a sexuality coach. You may find on social media and on the internet, they may be identified in a number of different ways depending on what their focus area is. So you may come across an intimacy coach or a pleasure coach or a body positivity or relationship or a marriage coach, right? We're all kind of in the same arena. There may be some levels of learning and certification that may be different depending on what their background is. So you have a marriage and family therapist, and to that note, a sex coach is not a therapist. In order to be considered a sex therapist, that person must have a degree and extensive training in psychotherapy, theology, social work, or medicine. So a lot of people may call themselves a sex therapist, or people identify them of ability, um, liability purposes, but just to respect the field in general. I am not a therapist. I am not a medical doctor. I'm not a psychologist or um, higher degreed in that sense. But I am a sexuality coach, and I am trained and certified to be able to use these skill sets. So let's keep moving because I want to keep us having time to eat. Make sure you leave me some comments below. So, what can a sexuality coach talk about or help you with? Again, we talked about what a sexuality coach um, can talk about or can cover. That's sexual intimacy, relationship challenges. So, what would come underneath that? Well, we have dating coaches, we have matchmakers. People are wanting to be able to know how to match with their person. And sometimes the tools that are available, such as dating apps or single pop ups, may not be it. You may need to have some extensive personality matchmaking done in order to find your person. Identity. Some people are struggling with being comfortable and accepting themselves in their identity, whether that be their sexuality, whether that be their gender, um, their love style, right? We push a monogamous narrative, but maybe people aren't comfortable with that. That doesn't work for them. But society is not really open to other types of love styles. And we see that on TV and movies and things of that nature. So, being essayed, assault or abused, being able to work through in addition to a therapist, and if you see a coach before you see a therapist talking about SA, that coach in your best interest and theirs would suggest you see a therapist first. And then what's great is that you can work with your coach in tandem with your therapist to meet your goals, and healing from SA. Aging, right? So people, we're getting older and our bodies are changing, our needs are changing. What worked for us when we were 20 and 30? Hi, Javon. What worked for us when we were 20 and 30 is not working for us as we are getting to be 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, right? And so working with someone who can help you with your sexuality and aging is important. Open relationships. So we're hearing a lot more about people who are re identifying, reaffirming what works best for them. And that may be being in an open relationships and defining what that is. We have a whole polyamorous movement, that is still quite misunderstood, but that is an avenue for people to identify with what works best for them and the people that they love in their lifestyle or in their life. Long term. So, not just in marriages, but just long term, platonic, romantic relationships. How to best work through those challenges that come up when you've been with someone for 5, 10, 15, 30, 40 years, right? In addition to maybe seeing a therapist, because maybe there was some hurt that was done, there was some mistrust you have to work through. Working with a coach, again, can help you implement steps to achieve a goal for a harmonious relationship. And then dysfunction, not so much in personality dysfunction, but dysfunction in your body, right? So maybe you're taking a medication that now your lower parts aren't working the way that they used to, or to the way that you're not, it's not acceptable to you. Maybe you had an accident and now there's a disability that is on the table that you didn't have before. So, working with a coach can help you identify ways in which you can continue to have a fulfilling, satisfying sex life and life in general. Because what I like to say about sexuality coaching is it's not just about sex, it's not. It's about who you are in the expression of who you are. And we are not compartmentalized people. We try to compartmentalize ourselves, but that's not who we are. We're whole beings. Um, and when one part of you is affected, your entire being is affected. So we talked about